We're keeping our bellies warm this winter with some warming recipes.
Dean Diplock from the Radisson Blue Hotel in Athlone. Oh, I tell you, it's one of those mornings.
You need a little lie down, lovey.
Need a little nap,
Dean Diplock.
Dean, you're going to feed me.
I am. We've had the cottage pie, so now we're going on to something a little bit more hearty.
What was the cottage pie like? Was it nice?
It was delicious, actually. You
Well,
didn't
cottage
have
pie,
any,
it's a
did you not?
shepherd's pie.
Shepherd's
Yeah,
pie.
I got it wrong too. Okay, so this is a little different. This is a very South African dish, believe it or not. We call it bointjie sop, or bean soup. Bointjie sop, yes. What I've done here is I've got some beef shin, which again I've got from my local butcher. Kept the bone in it and just cut it a little bit. There's a lot of sinew in this, but it's slow cooking. So with this whole dish is going to take, unfortunately, about 8 hours of slow cooking, but I can assure you it's well worth it. What I do first is I've browned the meat off, and I take that out of our pot.
What would you order now from your butcher?
Asking for shin of beef on the bone.
On the bone.
On the bone, and tell them how thick you want it. I asked for about 250 gram pieces there. So all in all, I'm using, give or take, a kilogram. But remember, the bone itself is quite heavy.
It's readily available. I cook with shin of beef all the time. We do shin of beef casserole. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
And very cheap.
Very cheap.
Yeah, very cheap.
And so tasty.
It's fantastic in stews, exactly.
So you're throwing in onions, carrots.
And our celery, our holy trinity, go in.
And again, if you had leeks and all that, you could chuck them in, couldn't you?
Well, not in this recipe.
Oh, right, sorry, I'll stand corrected.
Stand corrected.
You can't have leeks in your bointjie soup. Am I right?
Oh, you're right there.
What sop is it?
Bointjie sop.
Bointjie sop.
I've pre-cooked the onion, carrot and celery again, just for time purposes.
Right.
Okay, so you would have browned that off. We would have added then some tomato paste, again, same thing. And we just cook that in a little bit.
This is your classic kind of casserole base, isn't it?
Correct, correct. But this is a lot more runny. So I'll put the bones and all, meat back in again. Okay, just set this aside quickly. I then add our beans. Now these are sugar beans. Sugar beans. But I've soaked them in water overnight so that they puff up.
Okay.
They go into our soup now.
Wow.
Right.
That's a proper winter warmer.
This is a meal and a half. Yes, this is certainly. We just want to cover that. This pot is a little small.
Would you do this in the hotel, Dean?
I have made it in the hotel, yes. It does go down well. It really depends on people's tastes. A lot of people like the smoother soups. This has got texture and chunkiness to it.
This is a rustic one, isn't it?
This is a rustic one.
That was just some bacon or smoky bacon?
This is nice smoky bacon.
Nice.
I'm just going to press that down. We put a lid on it, and we forget about it for about 8 hours. But the thing is, you have to watch it. You don't want it to stick. The best way to do this is pop it in the oven on a medium to low heat and just leave it in there. Every now and then go back and stir it. Do not season it at this stage. What happens is the salt affects the beans and actually makes them hard. You don't want that to happen. You want it to really low and slow until the beans start getting really soft. Once the beans are soft, it's ready to go to the next stage.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, that's a great little tip. Don't season it.
Don't season it. So at this point now, we have got this been cooking overnight. All right, this is the one you got to taste this morning, but that's been going overnight. I'm going to add to that now our Worcester sauce. And a good bit of Worcestershire sauce. And we serve it with Worcestershire sauce as well. And if you like Tabasco, you can put a little Tabasco in as well. You can see clearly that everything is broken down nicely. I've removed the bones, and we've given it a quick blitz, just 1 or 2 blitzes, just to thicken it a bit, but not to break it down entirely. You want some texture from those beans in there. And lastly, I'm going to put a bit of beef stock in. As I said, we season it right at the end. Once it's soft, you can start seasoning at that point. Taste it, check if you need any more salt. Lots of black pepper. Very, very important. Must have lots of black pepper in this.
And I see, Dean, that you've toast here. Is that
I've made just standard toast with a good thick layer of butter on it.
Is that the traditional accompaniment?
And that's how it's served with it, yeah. Or crusty bread, whichever you prefer. But that is then the soup. It's brilliant for freezing, by the way. You can make this in a batch. I make them in 10-litre batches. We freeze them down, take them out, pop them in the microwave, and off you go. You cannot go wrong with it.
It's actually a great way to get vegetables as well into children, isn't it?
Yes,
it's almost like they've disappeared.
You want to have a little bit more black pepper. a splash more.
But you did go into the mixture and take the bones out.
I did. I took
in
the
middle
bones
of
out
this.
just as before we blitz. There's one there.
Okay.
Just before we blitz it, we take the bones out, and that's it. Done. It's as simple as that.
It smells good, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Boinky sop.
Boinky soup.
soup.
I'm going to
Boinky
try my boinky soup now. Don't put leeks in it or we'll fall out. Am I right?
But this is so perfect for a winter's day, isn't it?
This is what you have on a winter's day, and if you're sick and got flu, this you sit down with a bowl
This
of
is your
this. You
tonic.
grab some toast there and have a taste of that.
Here,
There's some
pass the
spoons
spoon.
there. Himself is now tucking into it there very quickly.
You know, Dean, I've passed this toast for the last hour, and the temptation has been so gigantic to pick a slice up, but I resisted.
I'll tell you what, mate, it's the best boinky soup I've had in a long time.
Like ever.
That is amazing. That is proper.
It's hearty.
Oh,
it's
hearty
definitely, it's a winter warmer,
shank.
if ever there was one.
amazing. isn't
So delicious.
Yeah, and nutritious. You know, it's full of protein. Really good for you, and we've used lean meat as much as we possibly
going to
can.
have some toast
You
with
just
it.
then stick the butter on it and then ruin the
Hey!
diet anyway, but it's all
Dean,
right.
legend.
Balanced,
Brilliant
though.
dishes as always.
Balanced, Dean.
Perfect.
We're taking a quick break now before we're joined by award-winning author and columnist Vincent O'Toole. See you in a few minutes. I'm going
Thanks,
to hit
Dean.
some-